read you a piece that Nigel Farage wrote for The Telegraph. I think it's important that you know the content of this piece because it's a roll-on effect to British politics, and it shows you, you wonder why there's a razzmatazz and a feel-good factor when people go to Reform Party gatherings, but you can see why, because they're on the same track. Elon Musk believes in Britain, and he believes it's in very deep trouble. Excitement is in the air for Trump's inauguration, is a marked contrast to the doom and gloom of the UK under Starmer. Nigel Farage writes in The Telegraph, "A Monday afternoon visit to Mar-a-Lago, and boy was it busy. It was busy throughout the day. The world's biggest tech giants were queuing up to meet Donald Trump, from the head of Crypto.com to Xu Chu, the chief executive of TikTok. The transition period was nothing like what I saw in 2016. Now there is a sense of order, determined calm, and above all optimism. Trump's personal ratings continue to rise in a way that's not been seen before in an incoming president. And is it any wonder? I met with the Japanese billionaire investor Masa Son of SoftBank shortly after he had given a press statement with Trump standing next to him, in which he promised over the course of his term in office to invest $100 billion in America and create up to 100,000 new jobs in tech and AI. In response, Trump took to the podium and said, "Thank you. Why don't you double it to 200 billion?" To which Son replied that Trump was a great negotiator and certainly did nothing to refuse Trump's kind request. This is just one example of the atmosphere in Mar-a-Lago and the increasing aura around President Trump. It's no exaggeration to say that there is a real excitement in the air, and no one doubts that by the date of the inauguration on the 20th of January, the Trump administration is going to hit the ground running. JD Vance and Nigel Farage meet. All of this is in such marked contrast to the doom, gloom and misery that is all pervading in the United Kingdom at the moment. I have little doubt that with every public utterance that comes from Prime Minister Starmer or the questionably qualified Chancellor of the Exchequer, that all we are going to do is talk ourselves into a recession. Unlike Trump, who understands the ups and downs of investing and of risk capital and of new ventures, it is clear that our Labour front bench has no comprehension of what the private sector is even about. The main purpose of my visit, alongside Nick Candy, my new Reform UK Treasurer, was to schedule a meeting with Elon Musk. He was very generous with his time, and I was particularly fascinated to listen as he explained his organisation from the ground campaign that took place in the 7 key swing states. Elon Musk is in a meeting with Nick Candy and Nigel Farage. There is little doubt that Musk's contribution to the scale of the Trump victory is not to be underestimated. I have come home with copious notes of how they increased the turnout, voter registration and so much more, and all of this I intend to implement as part of the professionalisation of our party. It is also heartening to listen to Elon speak about the UK politics with such deep care. He regards the mother country of the English-speaking world as being in very deep trouble. He describes the Labour and Conservative parties as the uni party and left us in no doubt that he is right behind us. Inevitably, following such intense media speculation, the issue of money was discussed, and there will be ongoing negotiations on that score. Several officials also came up to speak to me, having seen my interventions around the vital military facility that the US has on Diego Garcia. I was able to assure them that the Chagos Islands surrender was not only wholly unnecessary, but represented a bad deal for the United Kingdom, America, the free world, and not least of all the Chagosian people. I promise the Labour government there is trouble ahead on this issue. Now, the reason I've read that article out is obviously it's behind a paywall, so you wouldn't get to see it if I hadn't. And just that article is filled with the positivity that could be in this country if we got the right team of people in. So it's time to just put it to one side if you're hanging on to bad stuff like the that lot comment. Put it to one side if you're questioning how the Reform Party's been set up, because you've got Nick Candy as a treasurer. He's going to make sure that everything runs properly. We need lots of money. When I say we, I'm talking as a country, not a party. We need lots of money for reform so that they can get organised, get really good people, not just gather a load of candidates and spit them out into constituencies. We need quality. We need people like they've already got. We need people with something to offer, something good, something to grab hold of, something you can rely on. Look at how Rupert Lowe's made a difference, being given the chance to shine. That's what we need. We need people like that, people who have got something to offer. And that post, well, it's not a post, it's an article, isn't it, in the Telegraph, is just filled with positivity. And the good thing is that people like Musk and Donald Trump notice that our country's in trouble. They know we're in trouble because we're in the wrong hands. And we're in the wrong hands because we've always been in the wrong hands for 14 years, but they've never been quite bad enough for people to take action. And what will happen, you will see, it'll be like the Brexit referendum too. People will vote in the 2029 election because they'll have something new to vote for. How the party is set up, Reform Party, at the moment, is irrelevant. It's not one of your problems. We have so many problems. There's a big long list, from being pushed into green taxes that have made us have the highest electricity prices in the world, to ULEZ zones, to tax hikes. They've hit every single section of society and they're still knocking them down like 10 pins. They've hit all the pensioners with the winter fuel allowance. They've hit the delayed women's state pension, 3.5 million voters there who were now naffed off because Labour lied, said they'd back them and have now took the rug away. Add that to all the other things that they've done, like the farmers. They've hit the farmers. They've hit small businesses, they've hit medium-sized businesses, they've hit big corporations. Everybody's fed up with Starmer. The students are fed up with Starmer. These students should be their voter base. Students should welcome Labour. But they don't, because they're just hitting everybody. And when the front page of the Mirror has Kevin Maguire slagging him off, you know that this party is hitting rock bottom. You know it can't go on. And there will be a day, unfortunately we've got enough time to prepare for it. Because if you took Keir Starmer out of government now, what are you going to replace him with? Kemi Badenoch? I don't think so. She's not up to the job. There's nobody in Westminster yet that's up to the job. And when you say you want to see it's a clean sweep, the best way to get a clean sweep is in 2029, take the trouble to vote something new, something different in. Reform parties support proportional representation, they support direct democracy, they support what the people want. And a lot of the legislation we're living under can be undone. They're only pieces of paper. We don't have to live by them forever. So I just thought I'd share that one with you. I think it's worth maybe listening to it again.